Welcome back. With the Syrian political crisis well into its third year, the number of children forced to flee their homeland as refugees has now reached 1 million. And the number of children crossing Syrian borders alone is increasing. Latest figures show that some 740,000 Syrian child refugees are under the age of 11. The UNHCR needs more support. The majority of financial humanitarian assistance comes from governments, but the UNHCR cannot only depend on them. The private sector needs to boost their contributions as well. As we continue our conversation with Mohammed Abu Asaker. As you mentioned, there seems to be no end in sight for the current refugee crisis. Now, the UNHCR recently announced a shocking milestone. Syrian children refugees have hit the 1 million mark. Now, the United Nations has highlighted the threat to refugee children of child labour, early marriage, the potential of sexual exploitation and trafficking. Is this something that can be prevented when recent statistics have shown that more than 3,500 children cross the Syrian borders, either separated from their families or unaccompanied?
Well, we can do whatever we can, and we're talking about the unaccompanied children crossing the borders. And when we're talking about children in the childhood age being responsible as a main household, providing assistance to their families, and they're taking like an early responsibility, we cannot stop this. We work with the refugees to reduce, to minimize the impact of this whole refugee situation, but we cannot stop it because it's beyond our control. So we do our best, like we have a skilled staff in the field providing psychosocial support, providing counseling to the refugees and to vulnerable people and their families. And we are in the front of a fact that this is going to increase if we cannot get adequate support, and if we're going to receive more influx of such numbers, we're going to witness more and more cases, unfortunately.
Looking to the funding now, the UAE government has always been generous when it comes to supporting and funding those in need worldwide, but the UNHCR still looks to the private sector for its contributions. Earlier this year, statistics showed that financial humanitarian assistance from the private sector contributed only 5% to UNHCR's annual budget. Is this still a struggle, or have you seen positive progress with the private sector?
UNHCR tries to find different ways for fundraising because we are in front of several emergency situations in different parts of the world. The main donors for UNHCR are governments, but we cannot depend mainly on governments. So the private sector is an important method of fundraising. Last May, UNHCR appointed Her Highness Sheikh Jawahir as an eminent advocate, and this is an important assignment, an important milestone for UNHCR in building the relationship with the private sector people. So Her Highness Sheikh Jawahir been to the field meeting with Syrian refugee children, and she donated 1 million for the education of the Syrian refugees right away. And after that, she launched the Big Heart campaign to fundraise supporting Syrian refugee children. And we are very sure that this campaign will help in portraying the smile on children's faces. So just a few days ago in the Eid time, Her Highness donated 1.8 million as idea to Syrian refugees in Jordan. And this actually targeted 120,000 families. So it was a very nice shock, let's say, for those families to receive a text message on just one day before Eid saying that Her Highness Sheikh Jawahir donated $150 for your family and wishes you a happy and nice Eid. So Her Highness just yesterday in response for the 1 million milestone donated $200,000 for the diapers and the humanitarian assistance for the children in Syrian refugees. So this is important. Is it enough? No, we need more because the demand is very high and the expectation is very high. We believe that The role Her Highness is doing as an eminent advocate for UNHCR is vital. It's important. The donation is timely, and we hope that all people in the United Arab Emirates and the GCC stand and support Her Highness Sheikh Jawahir activities in delivering the message and also fundraising for the Syrian refugees. So the private sector is important and it's getting in there. So we hope that we can see more of these activities being done in different parts of the region.
Now, the UNHCR have a number of websites in a variety of languages to reach that global audience. Tell us about these online portals, whether they be websites or social media portals. How and where can people go to contribute?
The more emergency situations going on, the more we do our best to provide adequate information and timely information to the audience. So we have different platforms to provide information. So we have the official global website in different languages. We have it in Arabic, in English, in Spanish, in French, in Russian, Chinese, so in different languages to respond to the readers and audience needs. And also, we are very active on social media. We have an official account on Facebook and Twitter, and we have a YouTube channel, and we are on Bitstring, and we are on like different platforms that provide photos with high resolutions also. From another side, also we are providing a database that entails all the information about the emergency for the Syria situation. For example, we have a portal. So the portal, it is like includes all the data per country related to all refugees in the country and what kind of assistance has been provided with all reports in different sectors. So we are doing this to provide the timely and adequate information to the audience, and hopefully that will raise the awareness, get the enough sympathy, and also provide an assistance to those refugees.
Well, thank you very much, Mohammed Abu Asaker, Public Information and Communications Officer for the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees.
Thank you.
If you would like to contribute to help continue UNHCR's life-saving work, you can make a donation by going to donate.unhcr.org/Syria. Turning our attention now to one of the oldest businesses in Dubai, the Mohammed Omar bin Haider Group was established more than 60 years ago. It began as a diversified regional business in the 1950s and has grown rapidly since. It now operates across the UAE in multiple fields, including construction, real estate, education, and the hospitality sector. The Bin Haider Hospitality Division's hotels are among those that bear witness to the growth of the country, as well as the population of its residents and tourists in the past 4 decades. At present, it remains a distinguished player in the market, and Khadija Salih went to find out why after all these years they are still going strong.
Dubai has around 600 hotels in the city. 11 of these are either owned or managed by Bin Haider Hospitality. Dave Cockburn, General Manager of the division, says they will continue expanding their operations within the emirate. Their portfolio includes 4- and 5-star hotels, as well as 3 hotel apartments located in what is commonly referred to as the Old Dubai.
The first half of the year was very good. We uplifted 15 points in occupancy and good average rate growth. Summer is a challenge, but we noticed an uplift in visitors coming into the UAE, and we believe the last quarter will be very strong. Part of our growth plans, we're looking at beachfront resort at the moment, so we're doing a lot of due diligence as far as when the next wave happens, where is that going to happen.
While the more traditional areas are already covered, they say they are now looking at expanding in the new Dubai. The barely 2-year-old Grand Excelsior, a 4-star property located in Al Barsha, is shaped like a cruise ship. It distinctly stands out among a row of buildings.
You have to accommodate everybody's taste and so forth, even down to the room standards. You know, Chinese market's a very good example. The Chinese expect a tea in the room, 3 or 4 different types of tea with a teapot and everything else. So just small things like that. If you're going after a market, those small things mean quite a lot.
The 8-story property boasts of opulent furnishings and strategically placed nautical elements throughout its interior.
In regards to the rooms, they are larger in size, from 40 square meters upwards in a standard room, or in a superior room as we call it. And most of the rooms have got what we call 5-piece bathrooms.
The design transports guests immediately to a luxurious cruise ship. From its thoughtfully designed 230 deluxe and suite rooms, the plush nightclub, to its food and beverage outlets such as the rustic Arabic-themed restaurant Jar Al Amar. While all these add to the experience, Watson says it is their service that sets them apart.
We currently have a large group of young swimmers who are participating in the FINA Under-21 World Championship, and we are catering to their specific needs. Their catering for breakfast, lunch and dinner is tailor-made in a separate area. We support the organizing team, offering them facilities so that they can look after the participants that are staying in the hotel.
On one hand, Bin Haider Hospitality says their success is a reflection of Dubai's consistent efforts to promote it as a destination globally. On the other is their ongoing desire to keep their properties current from location to products and services offered. The 17-year-old Sheraton Deira Hotel and Towers, for instance, is situated in the middle of the business district in Deira. Meanwhile, the Dow Palace Hotel, located in Bur Dubai's commercial district, will undergo changes this October.
Our sister hotel in Bur Dubai, Dow Palace, will be rebranding that 1st of October. So that will give us the second Grand Excelsior in Dubai. In the areas we do have the majority of our hotels, they're traditional Dubai areas, by the markets, and really have the history and the feel and the character of Dubai. So I think there always will be a demand for those locations.
Across their properties, Cockburn says they maintain the local flavor to ensure guests have an authentic Dubai experience.
Part of that is the service levels, the international staff selection that we'll be putting into the hotels. And a big part of that is looking for Emiratis to actually work in our hotels. So visitors, corporates, businessmen, incentive groups coming in, staying in a Grand Excelsior will get a very local feel, if you like, of where they are.
There is great optimism in the market. According to Cockburn, business was good during the first half of the year, and they are looking forward to even better in the fourth quarter. With many more opportunities coming from around the globe, particularly the GCC, Asia, and Europe, building more properties and improving on assets are a good plan. Khadija Sali, UAE Weekly.
Well, that brings us to the end of our program. If you would like to get in touch with us, you can contact us at UAE Weekly at city7tv.com or by calling us on 04 367 2230. From myself and the entire team, we wish you a great week ahead.